was shit posting online. I was basically saying that I was gonna move into Billie Eilish's mansion because she said no human being is illegal on stolen land. So I had this shit post that I was going to fly over to the USA from Australia and try to move into her mansion. And I went all the way to LAX, and as soon as I got to LAX, they like literally detained me, put me in immigration custody for like 30 hours with two guys who were getting deported. One guy was getting deported to Ghana, one guy was getting deported to Pakistan. And I literally got sent back, and they took like a mug shot of me. Like it was just so fucking stupid. Like probably one of the dumbest things that I've ever done. But like it was like I can't even get back because it's kind of funny. But like
Yeah.
but yeah, like literally one of the stupidest situations like I've ever been involved in, to be honest.
So
It's pretty funny, to be honest.
yeah, this is just so I made this point to a few of my friends. I was like, I think I finally encountered a deportation that I disagree with.
Yeah,
This was very
yeah.
upsetting to me.
And dude, the funny thing is, like you would think having this sort of like negative experience with like customs and border enforcement would like make me go back to the left, but man, like all the people who celebrated were leftists.
Yeah.
Every single person who celebrated was a leftist. It was such a mind fuck, because like all the right wingers were saying this is an unfair deportation, but then all the leftists were like, this is awesome, fully supporting it. They were so happy that I was getting deported, man. So happy. Like I literally had thousands of comments on like Twitter, like literally going like fuck you, we're so glad that you're getting deported, all this sort of stuff. So I actually managed to somehow get like Billie Eilish to support ICE.
Yeah.
Like, all these leftists to support ICE, basically.
Very great work, I would say, on that front. Well, before we get into like the granular details of what went down and sort of the precursor, are you allowed back into the US now, or is it like, are you banned?
I'm not banned, so they told me there's no ban on me. I can actually go back, but I think at this point I have to like fly from Brisbane, my city, to like Canberra, which is like a 2 hour flight, and I have to like go to the US embassy and like sit down for a proper interview, do like a full visa process, which is like annoying as hell, because
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I was in the US in like January. I went to like New York and no problems at all. Like I literally just walked off the plane. I was there for like 10 days for a holiday, and like no problems at all. And then now like I have to like go through this like massive process every time I want to go for a holiday in the US. I don't know. I'm hoping there's a patriot in the White House who's like, just like, please reverse the decision to like ban Drew's visa.
Yeah.
Like,
I hope so.
I don't want to have to like go to like Canberra every single time and do like a full interview every time I want to go overseas for like a couple of days,
Yeah. So I saw you put on Twitter that you suspect that this could have been a direct intervention from Billie Eilish or potentially her team themselves. Do you still suspect that that's the case, that they were the ones that called in a direct line to the DHS?
Yeah, dude, I genuinely think that's the case. So like, think of it, right? Like literally I was in New York 3 weeks ago, zero problems. Like I stepped off the plane from Australia to the US, no problems. Just like, short holiday to see family and friends and everything. And then yeah, somehow in like the intervening three weeks, somebody has provided this kind of like information pack to DHS. And if your audience probably wouldn't know like my whole backstory. Basically, I was a leftist for a long time, but like before like, very long sort of backstory. But basically, I started off as like a sort of protest against the Chinese government in Australia. And as a result, like I sort of had years where I sort of like had run-ins with the Chinese government. Like they literally denounced me by name, like the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs and stuff. Like I was 20 years old and I got denounced by name.
Let's go.
I was organizing like pro-Hong Kong protests at my university in Australia, and like pro-CCP sort of students came out and like bashed us up and everything.
God.
So just like long history fighting the Chinese government and everything. And basically as part of that, like back in 2022, I was once protesting outside the London Chinese embassy, and I basically got swatted. Like they created a fake bomb threat in my name and got me arrested by the British police. And I got completely cleared of everything. It was like basically a full SWAT attempt. When people just make up these kind of like fake allegations to just get you arrested for no reason, these sort of like really dangerous kind of swatting attempts. And the crazy thing is, despite the fact that, I walked off the plane from Australia to the US like 2 weeks ago, no problems. Suddenly, after after I start taking the piss out of Billie Eilish, the customs authorities at LAX were asking me like, so have you ever tried to blow up a Chinese embassy? Have you ever tried to assassinate Chinese officials? I'm like, no, man, like what the hell's going on? So I think potentially what's happened is like, I think Billie Eilish's like legal team basically like Googled me, found out like I had this like history as an activist, like going against the Chinese government, found out I got like swatted in 2022 and like used the fact that I got swatted to just like, yeah, it's actually like very low, like it's a very low blow, bro, like very low,
Yeah.
bro, very low blow. And that's why I'm really hoping that like somebody in America might be able to like, yeah, review this kind of decision to just like ban me, because like I'm like a pro-US patriot. I
Yeah.
love America. I'm an Australian who loves America, loves the Australia-US alliance. I've been like fighting for years in Australia against all these people who want to kind of like put Australia into this like position where we would be a kind of like CCP vassal state. And as part of that, I had years where the Chinese government went after me. Like the Australian Federal Police Chief testified to the Australian Senate that they raided people in Australia who were trying to find my address, violently harm me as part of a foreign interference plot. Like this shit is like actually like, I'm not even like, sounds schizophrenic, but literally the Australian Federal Police Chief testified to the Australian Senate, like this is the case. Like I actually did get targeted by the Chinese government. So then, yeah, for Billie Eilish's like legal team to potentially just like weaponize that, find that out, and then weaponize that, like that's a low blow.
Yeah, I think the Trump admin should weigh in here because I think you would be due for some sort of recognition because you're forcing Billie Eilish to renounce her previous position and then endorse the deportation of a foreigner. I mean, that's quite aggressive. It's quite an aggressive heel turn from Billie.
Look, that's like a patriotic move, right? Like I helped. I feel like I'm helping like the Trump administration. I managed to get one of these like top celebrities in America who like literally was on stage at the Grammys saying America is a fake country, stolen land, no one is illegal in stolen land. And then suddenly, I'm taking the piss, and she calls up like her lawyers call up ICE and like get me deported. It's crazy, like man. Like I literally managed to get one of these top celebrities to endorse Trump's border control strategy.
Yeah.
Like it full endorsed deportations. Like, I don't know, Billie Eilish is now like a remigration enthusiast or something like that.
I know. Wait, Billie Eilish is on our team now. This is getting a little confusing. The lines are mixing up a bit. Yeah, you should be at the State of the Union. They should like call on you and give like a 5-minute applause and see which Democrats don't applaud. I think that'd be quite interesting. Because if they don't applaud, then that's counter signaling Billie Eilish.
You know when they point up to the gallery, like Trump goes up, and he's like, there's an Australian in the gallery.
Yeah.
A young patriot who man, that would be amazing.
Yeah, he was wrongfully deported by ICE. This is just showing how things have gone a little too far. It'd be a beautiful thing.
That would be beautiful. Honestly, I think it would be a moment of healing for, the US, bring everyone together.
Yeah.
Man, can you believe it? I'm not even kidding. There were like literally thousands of posts by leftists like fully celebrating the deportation. Like there were accounts that had like thousands of likes. They were like, we finally agree that DHS has deported a dangerous illegal immigrant. Like, can you believe it, man? It was full friend enemy distinction. On my journey from like left to right, one of the big things that made me sort of turn to the right was I was the personal victim of crime. Like my car got broken into, all my stuff got stolen. Mm-hmm. And I had all these leftists kind of just like celebrate or say, oh, the true victim is the criminal, pissed me off so much. And so, you would think these kinds of like searing personal experiences, I got robbed, my car got broken into, I moved to the right. You'd think maybe I'd move back to the left after getting deported, but man, every single person who celebrated was a leftist, and they did full friend enemy distinction to me. They were like, you're our enemy, and so we want to like literally deport you. Just full friend enemy distinction because I'm like a conservative who supports Trump and everything. So full friend enemy distinction, they wanted me to suffer. And so then that's very clarifying to me. I'm like, okay, these guys are like literally my enemies.
Right.
They made it very clear, man. Like they want me to suffer. So I'm like, you would think, you'd think, oh, maybe I would then start criticizing Trump's immigration policy. But it's like, no, all the people who were sympathetic to me were the conservatives who were like, sorry, this was a mistake. But all the people who loved it, who were so happy, they're like, please, they should have shot Drew instead. They're the leftists. They're the actual like hardcore liberals.
Well, because the way I look at it, okay, a political activist who's bravely, has conducted all these activism operations, wrongfully deported from the United States at the behest of a multimillionaire. The way I look at it, I think someone like Renee Good actually died defending your right to be in this country, and now they're stomping all over her legacy. It's just a complete inversion of what's going on.
That's a beautiful thing. Honestly, that's a beautiful message.
Yeah.
All the people, protesting in Minnesota, they're protesting for me, Drew Pavlou, like they're protesting for my freedom, free Drew Pavlou and stolen land.
I know.
I have to thank you to the great communist protesters who suddenly support my rights. So beautiful,
So what was happening? So you arrive, I'm assuming you get out of the gate and then you're approaching customs and they pull you aside.
Yeah.
Were they aware, were these agents aware of the situation, or were they just kind of they got an order and they're like, all right, we just gotta, fulfill this order?
Look, I'm not that well known, they didn't know who I was. I think I was just flagged in the system. So I kind of I got taken aside to the interview area where there's 50 other people who are also waiting to be interviewed. And, normally people clear that in an hour or two, but after 2 hours, I was still there. All the people who I went in with had all been cleared and I was still there. And I'm like, okay, starting to get bad. And, they weren't letting me touch my phone. It was pretty bad. Then eventually, I got to do a proper interview, and I just was trying to explain myself. They asked me about the Billie Eilish thing. I was like, listen, I do YouTube videos. I'm a Twitter poster.
Yeah.
I tried to make myself sound legit. I was like, listen, Elon follows me. JD Vance has retweeted me. I told them that. I was like, come on, JD Vance retweeted me. You can't deport me. And look, the funny thing is, I don't blame the low level sort of customs officials, because a lot of them were laughing when I told them the Billie Eilish joke. They were laughing. And also, you know what's interesting? All the guys at the customs were Hispanic guys. And
go figure.
And they were chill. They were laughing at my Billie Eilish joke. It's funny, I thought to myself, maybe this is kind of cosmic revenge by the universe, because I was critical of the Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime show, but no, look, in the end, it was sad because honestly, most of the actual agents were chill, and I told them my whole Billie Eilish joke, and they were literally half of them were laughing, but they were like, we have to put this through to the supervisor, and that's when they started asking we need you to answer these questions about your history with the Chinese government. Did you ever try to assassinate a Chinese official? Did you ever try to blow up a Chinese embassy? I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And that was crazy. And they were asking me so what is your relationship with Billie Eilish? Have you ever tried to talk to her in the past? Have you ever been in her vicinity? Will you try to touch her? And I'm like, no. I was literally just trying to say I'm just shit posting. My actual plan, I was on Gig Salad. I was on one of these gig websites. I was trying to hire a Native American dance group to do a proper smoke ceremony outside her house sort of thing. And I was literally in advanced discussions with multiple different dance trios. And basically I wanted to do a full sort of Native American smoke ceremony outside her mansion. And I don't think that's illegal. I'm not going onto the property. I'm not. Yeah, it was literally on the road. I'm not going on the property. I'm not going anywhere near her. I was just gonna we were just gonna do a video with a smoke ceremony. You probably would have saw. There was the British reporter with GB News who went to a house and was door knocking it, saying please let us in. Nothing happened to him, and he wasn't an American citizen.
Yeah.
So I honestly, it sucks, man. It was pretty shitty. 30 hours in the sort of custody zone. And it was I tried not to eat because it was kind of prison food. So I was like, okay, I'm just not going to eat. Eventually I got so hungry. So I had a microwave burrito chimichangas. I got food poisoning. I was throwing up. It was literally just the worst experience, bro. I'm literally I'm sitting there needing to throw up from chimichanga burrito. And it's 3 a.m. They've got bright lights so you can't sleep. It was just the fucking worst. You literally could not. I suffered for my art, man. For the meme, I go so hard for the meme, I go so hard. I went so hard to the point that I was literally sitting there needing to throw up in immigration custody, bright lights, 30 hours. In total, it was 60 hours. The whole time I was traveling, I went 60 hours without sleeping in a bed. It was just the worst.
And you didn't have your phone, so I guess whatever plans you had in the U.S., you couldn't like tell them, hey, I'm not gonna be there. You couldn't update anyone on the situation.
Oh, dude, that part sucked. And I was just thinking to myself, like, shit, is there anyone I know in the US who I could contact and like they could try to help me? And it was just such a bad situation because like they literally didn't let me talk to anybody. Eventually, after 20 hours, I called like the after like 20 hours, they let me call the Australian embassy, the Australian like 24/7 consular assistance line. They patched me through to my dad. And like, I was like telling my dad, like, Dad, you've got to like get the message out on Twitter that I'm like locked up.
Yeah.
And like my dad's like just anonymous on Twitter, you know? So like, I didn't even know what to do. It was just, man, it was a terrible situation. And it sucks because I was going to, obviously the main reason I was going was the Billie Eilish thing. And they told me the main reason they knocked me back was the Billie Eilish thing. But when I was in the US, I was going to try and, I got invited to go on the Steven Crowder podcast and everything. So it would have been cool. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it kind of got like fucking destroyed, this whole beautiful plan.
Dude, we'll get you back out here for IRL. It's gonna be so vindicating when you're sat on the IRL panel.
Oh, dude,
beautiful thing.
that would be goated. Honestly, I'm gonna like go back to the Australian embassy. I'm gonna go back to the US embassy in Australia. And I'm gonna like go all in. Like, hopefully, I'll have like JD Vance tweet like printed out.
Yeah.
I'll have all my Elon Musk retweets printed out.
Yeah.
I'll have like the invitations from all the shows. I'm like, you have to let me in.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed. Like, somebody already put in a freedom of information request to try find out if Billie Eilish's lawyers did it, and it's been covered by like Fox News, and
it's everywhere.
It was actually it got a lot. So, bro, I'm like just like fingers crossed. Like somebody in the administration can like have a look at this and be like, yeah, this is not good, you know? Because man, like I'm like literally like the most pro-America guy in Australia.
Oh, yeah.
So it was very painful having all these like leftists gloating, going like, ha ha ha, Drew loves America and they deported him. It was painful, you know, it was painful. There was there's this like radical Islamic extremist group in Australia called Hizbut Tahrir. It's like banned in Britain, banned in Saudi Arabia, banned in Indonesia. They're really hardcore. And they like literally put out a video on Instagram saying like the Prophet Muhammad, Alhamdulillah, like they were actually like praising Muhammad that I had been deported by the USA. And like, that's painful to me, bro. That's so painful.
Dude.
That like literal jihadists were like, just like actually praising God that I'd been deported by the US. I'm like, please, like Trump, you got to save me from this. You got to save me from this so that like the literal jihadists are not like praising Allah that I'm getting deported. It's painful to me, my heart, man.
You're literally like the microwave chimichanga just ripping your innards apart. You're like, Donald Trump, if you can hear me, please save me.
Dude, yeah, like President Trump, please save me as the chimichanga rips up my inside. Bro, I'm never having a chimichanga before ever again in my life. It was disgusting. Man. I hated it. It was so bad.
So when you're in this room with the other deportees, were you able to like chop it up with them? Were you able to talk to them? I did.
Yeah, bro. Look, I actually chopped it up with them, and like I did feel bad for them. You know, like I'm a conservative guy. I support Trump's overall immigration strategy and you know, deportations, etc. You have to have a border, of course. But I did feel bad for these two guys because you know, I'm a human being at the end of the day. They were interesting lads. Like one guy was from Ghana, and I felt bad for him because his kids were American citizens. His wife was an American citizen. He worked as like a nurse at UCLA, and I think it was just like there was a fuck up with his visa processing. So he'll probably be allowed back in, but I felt bad for him. It was sad. Like, and his kids were waiting at the airport and they didn't even let him talk to his kids, like to say, go home and stuff. So that was pretty sad.
Yeah.
Look, you know, we've got a heart, you know, man. Like I do support overall the conservative immigration approach, but you know, it was a bit sad. They were nice lads. One guy was from Pakistan, and it was interesting because I asked him like more about his life, and he was like, and he had like family in America and everything, but he it turns out he like lived close to like the Afghanistan border, and I was thinking, so like that's probably why.
Yeah,
like probably why. But look, they were nice lads, and we ended up chopping it up. It was funny, like me and the guy from Ghana. It was really funny. We were having like a discussion, and he was like to me, "Listen, he was telling me that he supported Trump because he agreed with Trump on the gay stuff.
Let's go."
Because he was like a hardcore Christian, and he literally said that to me. Like those were his words. He was like, even though I'm like upset that I'm getting deported, like I supported Trump on the gay stuff. I was
Patriot,
like, I was like Patriot. I was like Patriot.
Yeah.
Like, I've got gay family members. You know, peace and love to everybody.
Sure.
But it was funny. It was funny though. It was funny. It was funny. Look, it was good. Like at least I was able to chop it up with them. I did feel bad for them, you know. Like I think they weren't necessarily guys who were actually illegally immigrating to America. Like I think they were just having problems with visas and stuff. And hopefully they'll work it out in the end. I think, look, overall, I still support Trump's, border strategy. You've got to have a border. You've got to have, you've got to try and preserve American culture, Western culture, etc. But at the same time, I've got a heart. Like, these two guys were nice to me. I just feel bad for them. It's a tough world out there.
It is.
I was literally a deportation victim myself.
Yeah,
So-
you were literally, these were your compatriots. You're like, this is one
yeah, my
struggle.
compatriots, exactly.
One struggle.
And it was pretty funny because there were some right wingers in Australia who were like my friends, and they was like sort of joking, like in the future when Drew says that jihadists should be deported, he's talking from lived experience.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Exactly.
Look, I haven't used the word deport yet since I got deported because I think it's too ironic if I immediately go back to it. But I still 100% think that jihadists need to be fucking deported.
So
like
true.
those guys in Australia who were praising Allah because I was getting deported, literally I will one day get my comeuppance. They will be deported within the next 10 years when we get to power. When Drew and the Australian Patriots get to power, all the people who were like praising Allah that I got deported, they're going to be going back to the Middle East.
And now you've
They're gonna
seen
be
the
going
inner
back home.
workings, so like some of the ways we could expedite the deportation process. This is a bit redundant.
I can speak from lived experience. Yeah. It's not the worst thing in the world. I'm still speaking to you. I'm still alive. You can survive these things. It's not the worst thing in the world. So I'll be able to advocate. Leftists always talk about the importance of speaking from lived experience.
So true.
From my lived experience of being deported, I can advocate that all these jihadists who praised Allah that I got deported, that they will be going back to their homes in the Middle East.
True.
And yeah, very, very important.
We'll give them a chimichanga on the way out. Yeah, yeah.
they can have some beautiful halal chimichangas.
Yeah.
Look, it's that one pissed me off. Like literally, guys with Hizbut Tahrir, one of the most radical Islamic extremist groups, like they literally advocate for slavery and shit like that.
Yeah,
they literally advocate for like the reintroduction of like Islamic slavery. They were literally praising Allah that I got deported. It's like, sorry, if you're like literally a jihadist, like you're going to be going home. You're going to be going home, and from my lived experience, I can tell you that myself.
You'll see to it. Yeah. Well, I got to ask you, what do you think the PR implications are here for Billie Eilish? Because this isn't a good look. She has a direct line to DHS. She is obviously in cahoots, I would say collaborators. What do you think the PR implications are for Billie Eilish, and what's sort of the long-term play for her here?
That's a great question. Like, it's great to know that Billie Eilish is now like a pro-deportations patriot. Yeah. It's great to know she's a remigration enthusiast. It's amazing that she now has this sort of direct line with ICE, and she's just going to go around and just saying deport, deport, deport.
Yeah.
Just ringing up. I don't like this person. Deport them. Who would have known that Billie Eilish had this right-wing patriot energy within her? But I helped to unleash it. Yeah. Who knows if Billie Eilish ends up becoming like a full MAGA diehard patriot, like Trump actually needs to give me a medal.
I know.
Maybe that's the path here.
I see a situation where she headlines the Turning Point halftime show next year. I think that's on this trajectory, that's what's going to occur.
Exactly. Like she did a 180-degree heel turn. Yeah. Getting her political enemies deported. Yeah. So that's
pretty based.
It's kind of based. So if we follow this linear trajectory, man, she's going to be like, who knows? Like maybe she will one day take up like Stephen Miller's position in the White House as like the chief deportations advocate. That's the trajectory we're on. If it just keeps on going at this pace, within 10 years, she'll be like, special White House advisor for remigration deportations.
Right. It'll be like that alleged situation where they said, Border Patrol went through a guy's phone and they found a JD Vance meme and deported him. That's going to be reality. They're going to go through, and any disloyalty to Billie Eilish will be grounds for ejection from the United States.
That honestly, that's where I think things are going at this point. and it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. Does Billie want to go that hard? Does she want to basically create this kind of personality cult like Chairman Mao? Like anybody who goes against her must be purged by the state. That's the trajectory we're on. Yeah. The Billie Eilish Maoist revolution. Who knows? Who knows where we go from here? But it's beautiful in a way. I'm happy that she's
beautiful.
managed to find this sort of energy within herself.
Yeah,
Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? This entire situation to me just demonstrates that right wing art does exist. Because this all I see this is a beautiful painting, you know what I'm seeing here.
That's what I tried to say to everyone, like, because there were so many leftists gloating and celebrating and so happy that I was suffering, and I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, this was beautiful performance art on my part, and like, to be honest, like, I know it sucked that I got deported, but could it have even gotten better? Could it have gone better, really, considering like how? I mean, imagine if I actually got let in, and I just did like a skit, and it got like, you know, maybe got 1,000 likes. This way was far more successful in a way, because basically, we made Billie Eilish into a patriot, and we got all these leftists suddenly supporting deportations, and it was amazing performance art. Who else could do that? Like, I'm such an annoying person. I'm so uniquely annoying that like I literally was able to get like 50% of American politics who ordinarily would like die in a ditch to defend the rights of every single illegal immigrants. I managed to get them to fully support like deportations of political enemies. Like,
it's so beautiful.
It's actually amazing performance art. Look, the thing is, I just really need to get this situation reversed. Like, I need the US government to try fix the sort of ban on me. They've got to try do that before any Democrat gets to power, because if the Democrats get to power, they will just literally probably do life ban on me at this point. I think that's where we're heading.
They're coming after all of us. Drew Pavlou is just in the way. That's really the reality of the situation.
That's the reality, man. That's the reality. I honestly think if Gavin Newsom was the president, like, he probably would actually just put like a lifetime ban on me at this point.
They probably would have just executed you at LAX. That's probably what it would have happened.
I know. That's where we're going. So look, JD Vance, Trump, if you're hearing this, please help an Australian patriot get a holiday visa to America in the future, so I can drop into the Steven Crowder show and the Tim Carr studio. Yeah, please help me out. I want to continue fighting the good fight, and I will continue to try help leftists see the light when it comes to the importance of border control, the importance of safeguarding borders from the ideological enemies of Western civilization.
It's so true. It's so true. Well, Drew, we're running a little out of time here, so I just want to say, where can people find you to find more of your work? And then if you could close with the final message for Billie Eilish, I'm sure she's watching.
Okay, of course, man. Look, I'm on Drew Pavlou on Twitter is my main platform, but I'm on YouTube as well. People should go there. Instagram as well, just Drew Pavlou. If you want to follow my antics and my general stunts and humor, I've got a Nick Shirley type video coming out about massive government fraud in Australia regarding the National Disability Insurance Scheme, which is like Minnesota on steroids. Wow. That'll be coming out next week if you want to follow my stuff. And listen, the final message to Billie Eilish is, Billie, I actually now respect you as a sort of American patriot, policing the borders of your country against these foreigners. But I just want to say, I want to say, we maybe hit it. I don't know. Maybe we hit it off on the wrong foot. Yeah, exactly. Maybe we hit it off on the wrong foot. I didn't realize Billie Eilish was such a patriot. And I just, Trump and JD Vance, if you're hearing me, please let me in on a holiday visa so I can do some podcasts in America. Yeah. God bless, God willing. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.
Drew. I appreciate it. We'll catch you next time, and I'll catch you on Timcast IRL here soon.
Cheers, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Take care.